Malo mo Mike community Wana Nui Edge and Watch Pacific Islander climate contingent, and I'm so proud to be here. Go ahead, Tiny. You guys rep your org.
Decolonize Academy, Poor Magazine, Hopefulness in the House. That's the Poets Project, Poor Magazine. Can I get a witness? Poor people, the people first impacted by the so-called climate change. Us poor mamas, when poor great mama is under attack. So you're going to get to be here and just find out who's standing here in this front line, who these youth scholars and us poverty adult scholars are.
Wow, okay, and then, but we're going to begin with the prayer.
My name is...
Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to, thank you so much, Tiny. Yeah.
I'm getting all hyped, sorry, Pam.
So, wow, we've got, we're a pretty amazing group, if I say so myself. But of course, we're here in the Lonely Land.
Oh.
We're here in Yalamu. We want to, this is indigenous land, and we are an indigenous people. Pacific Islanders. We have this, she's going to introduce herself, but this is a sister from Tuvalu is here from the Pacific Islands for the summit, and we just met, and she's able to come and join us. And then in Poor Magazine, there's lots of different indigenous people. So it's with such great humility that we stand here on the Lonely Land today in Yalamu, San Francisco. So much love, so much courage. And I want to thank the organizers of this event. Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it. I want to give a shout out to the elder Pam Tao Lee, who I just love with all my heart. As a Pacific Islander, the API fight is very difficult for us. I'm going to be very brief about this. It's a fight for us. It's a battle for us as Pacific Islanders. And I want to I just want to shout out to Pam. I want to tell her, Pam, thank you so much for being in this struggle with me as an Asian woman. So with that, we're just going to say a prayer. Tiny, can I ask you to say our prayer, please?
If people can reach down and hold Mother Earth while we're doing this, close your eyes if you can. Ibashe, 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 Saminka Konowari, Adabi, Ho, O Mateo. Gracias, Creador y Creador, por tu día de nuestra vida. Thank you, Creator, for another day of life. Thank you, ancestors of the Ohlone Lishan Nation. Thank you, all the Black, Brown, and Indigenous peoples who have lost their lives on these streets due to the poverty, the capitalism, the removal machines that continue to destroy us. Thank you to the ancestors of these beautiful young people and all of the people in this beautiful small piece of Mother Earth for actually trying to walk a different way. And thank you ultimately to Mama Earth, for without home, there would be no us. Oh, Amateo, Saminka Konawari, oh, thank you. All right, now we're going to hear who these beautiful young people are.
Hello, my name is Kimo Umu. Hello, my name is Kimo Umu, and I come from Decolonize Academy, which is located in East Oakland. Shout out to East Oakland. Shout out to Frisco, because this is where I live.
I am Amir Cornish. I'm the Decolonize Academy student, and I just want to say we have YouTube radios KEXU 96.1.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Solomon Keloha. I'm a youth poverty scholar at Decolonize Academy.
Hello, my name is Zaire, and I also come from Decolonize Academy. Hello, my name is Zion Angeles, and I'm a youth scholar from Decolonize Academy.
Hello, my name is Jasmine Hain. I am a teacher at Decolonize Academy, member of Poor Magazine for many, many years, scholar, and I'm a slightly older youth scholar, and a queer POC and, climate activist.
All right, Jasmine! Go ahead. Yeah.
Sol2sol. I'm from Tuvalu, Pacific Island. It's just a small island it's just a dot on the map. And I'm 19 years old and all the way from Tuvalu just to attend the summit. And all for climate change, so thank you.
Algo me llama Muteo Silencio. I'm from Michoacán, Mexico. I come from the Purépecha people, also displaced people through migration. We didn't cross the border crossed us. Muteado Silencio, presente y me alegro. Mis palabras son mis balas, mi lápiz es mi arma. Muteado Silencio, my words are my bullets, my pen is my gun. So sit back and relax, because we're gonna drop by your minds.
Bruce Allison, staff writer for Poor Magazine. The one that will translate gobbledygook from City Hall and make it sensible. And also a 7th generation San Franciscan.
We have Tere in the house, Tere Molina, and Gloria Esteban, and I'm losing my mind. Yeah, we are the poverty scholars. That house's mama, that house's daughter. We are the poverty scholars. All the people you don't want to see, never want to be. Look away from me. What you gonna do? Arrest me? We're in your city. Yeah, we are the poverty scholars, and I do rock this jailhouse attire. Because orange ain't the new black, even though Hollywood will give you all kind of facts. But me and my poor mama did jail time just trying to stay housed and alive in this stolen holler. I am a poverty scholar, the melanin challenged daughter of a strong Afro-Boricua mama, for without whom there would be no me, a mama soltera and a welfare queen. Out to the Taino Nation in the house! And then we're gonna turn it over to our sister Loa, who's gonna spit some knowledge about the Moana Nation, and then we're gonna come back with the Teatro de los Pobres. So make sure you stay on the edge of your seat, because you got a treat. Yes.
Thank you so much, Tiny. Okay, so I think on your program, you read in your program that this is a Pacific Islander contingent, and you're wondering okay, you have some other folks here with you. Yeah, you're damn right we do. Because as Pacific Islanders, as marginalized people, as immigrants to this country, we have to have some accomplices. We have to have some collaborators. And these are the people, I always think about us, and I was listening to a program the other day, maybe it was just Facebook, and they had sis come up here with me, our Tuvalu sis, Nanoa. And they had a program, in the program they were talking about, Kavanaugh's nomination for the Supreme Court. And it was the Yale Law School students who wrote a letter to their Yale Law School, because Yale Law School had written a letter that they totally support Kavanaugh's nomination. And this is what I think about my life here in the United States, being that I've left the islands and I live now here, particularly here on Ohlone land. And I remember what the students said. The students said, to their law school, they said, really, you really had to nominate this person who has this record of doing human rights violations to people who live in this country, the United States of America. You feel that it's so important for you to be in the proximity so close to that kind of power. To me, that touched me a lot. To me, at that moment, I asked myself, Lord, as an activist, as a Pacific Islander who loves your people and your land and your ancestors, what proximity do you have to power, and what kind of power is that? So brothers and sisters, it's with great honor and with great love that I stand here and share the stage with Decolonize Magazine, with Poor Magazine, with the Poverty Scholars and the Poor Poets. They have really taught me a different way of how to survive as a Pacific Islander, how to survive as indigenous people on Ohlone land. And we have so much, that's what climate change, this fight is for us. And so that's why we're gonna bring in something a little different. But I think it's something you in the audience, you know very well, with our diverse ancestries and histories, I think you feel this because we all come from the land. And so I want to bring up Sis. What are we going to do now, Lenore?
Well, I'm gonna sing a song. It's in Tuvaluan language, but I'll translate it to you after. It's about my island, my beautiful island, what climate change has caused, and then destroyed the beautiful island. So I'll just start singing, and I'll translate it after. It's like an island flavor. Motherland, my motherland. So when I was a little kid, we usually play around trees, you know, climbing up the trees and all. There's no electronical stuff, no staying inside the house, being on Facebook and everything. We just we like to enjoy and make use of Mother Nature, as God has provided for us beautiful trees and clean breeze and everything. And so when I grew up, we like to play on beaches and we used to play on the airstrip, and then well, climate change took over. So as now our islands, as you'll know our island as it refers as sinking island. When it's high tide, it actually comes on the land. So it's somewhere here on the land. So when it's low tide, so we've been trying our best to make it to be a voice. So I'm helping, like I have to be a voice for other youth. So even the big country nations, for them like to decrease the use of fossil fuel, because I know, I'm sorry, it's the first time on the stage, so speaking as a Pacific Islander, we miss, actually I miss the cool breeze, plantations, trees, everything. It's, as you know, it's healthy too. And I don't know. So as being a youth climate change and to fight against the climate change. It's just a word of encouragement. If we come all together as one, just all together as one, and to stop this, all this dirty and pollution and everything around the world, we can all do this if we all come together and be as one. Thank you.
We're just gonna share the mic here, me and Nanoa, you guys. I mean, I'm just so honored to have this sister here from Tuvalu, who is you know, I'm Tongan and she's from Tuvalu. Anyone in the house knows where Tuvalu is on the map? Sheridan, where's it at? Was it a high or just a? It's basically a little. Is it a little on top of Samoa?
Okay, well, Tuvalu is actually near Samoa, Fiji, the Kiribati Island. It's like 3 hours flight from Tuvalu to Fiji, so they're like quite close, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, great. Yeah, and so what our idea for our presentation is going to be, everyone, is Sister Nanoa and I, we just have a couple more minutes, and then we also want to give the stage to the poverty scholars. So they're just going to do a really amazing job. So what we would like to also talk a little about, man, I'm just so happy to see you, sis. Yeah, I'm thinking like, I have some things here to talk about. I was going to especially talk about just how we live as Pacific Islanders I feel that a way that we combat climate destruction, which I heard Penny Opal Plant say recently, you know, we always use climate change, that word climate change, but like no one knows what the hell that means. And that's quite deceiving. So you know, Penny, lots of love to you, and I'm sure Penny learned it from some other, you know, climate warriors. The word is climate destruction, right? Climate annihilation. That's what the words are, right? Don't talk like a baby to me. We love babies though, don't we? But you know, don't like babble or whatever. Come on, let's call it what it is, climate destruction. So yeah, I was just gonna talk, you know, Nanoa, come up here, Nanoa. I was gonna talk about how we as Tongans, my sister Fui, my small family, our friends, how we, as indigenous people in this land, how we battle climate change here, and then always, our hearts as Pacific Islanders. Does anyone know some Pacific Islanders like pretty well? You guys have some Pacific Islander friends? You guys do. These guys do. But you know, if you have some, they're like really, they're really close to their families back at home. Have you guys noticed that? Like, yeah, I used to work for Alameda County Public Health, and they said, hey, Laura, we really want you to help us solve this problem. Like, you know, the Pacific Islanders we hire, when something happens at home, like a funeral, they just get up and leave. And then they never come back, or they come back 2 weeks expecting their job, you know? But it's like, yeah, that's how close we are to our families. You got to go back home, because that's, you know, not only everyone that, I think, you know, Nano, we share this as Pacific people, as indigenous people in the Pacific, that you will see these weird things here in the West that Pacific Islanders do. Because for us, we have to do that. And I'll tell you why that main reason is. And it has all to do with why we are fighting against climate destruction, and that's the strength that fuels us to fight against climate destruction. It's a really simple thing, you guys, and it's a practice that our ancestors have done for forever. It's like, as a Tongan person, when you are born, you know, when you're born with your mother, you have your umbilical cord that connects you, right? And the placenta. And so what happens, of course, you are cut from it. And then you take the placenta and you take it and you bury it in the land. In Tongan, that's the fonua, the placenta, and the land itself is also the fonua. They have the same name. And so that is so the child can always remember. So the child, that's the mother. The land is the child's mother forever. And that child will always be connected. And as I have been organizing for our Pacific Islander contingent on climate destruction, you know, Nanoa, I really realized that that's not just a cute little thing that Pacific Islanders were practicing. And I also know that indigenous people practice all over the world. Not just Pacific Islanders, I know that. But it's something that we still do. Do you do that in Tuvalu?
Yep, we do.
Do you have your umbilical cord in Tuvalu? And I have to tell you, I mean, isn't that a coincidence that both of us are here together from the islands, coming all the way, all these different histories, all the way from the islands to be here on Turtle Island. So what I want to say, I really learned that practice that our ancestors have of burying our placenta in the land really is an amazing practice that really is real. That's really why I can stand here and tell you how much love I have for my country, for my island. It's not in for a country, because that is also a Western construct. It's a love I have for my people. That's why when I see Nanoa, I have so much love for Tuvalu, because she's my sister. We come from the same Pacific. And that's why of course today it's a privilege to be able to travel back to Tonga. This is so expensive, right? So, so when I just wanted to say that I do feel that using, and Tidy, please keep me on time, please. Nano, what do you think about this, what I'm going to say? I really feel here in San Francisco, or where we live at Berkeley and Oakland, I feel that for Pacific Islanders, how we fight climate change is by going to our roots of our cultural practices. I mean, we have our canoe coming. Kiki Analia is already here, docked on shore in San Francisco, everybody, with the great navigator Nainoa Thompson. So much love for him, for bringing back the voyaging, our ancient cultural practice. How can you tell me that bringing back a canoe is not a way to fight climate destruction? How can you tell me that? It doesn't use fossil fuels. It uses people's courageous hearts to be bold out there in the ocean that no one charts, without a GPS, without, just this piece of wood that is made with the ingenuity and the knowledge of our people, and an ancestor is not someone from long time ago, like all the way long time ago. An ancestor are just the people who made that canoe the first trip to Tahiti in 1975. That's an ancestor, everybody. To us, Nainoa is an ancestor, and he's still alive. And so these cultural practices, you may go somewhere, you may think, oh, those Pacific Islanders, they used to practice this. No, what I'm trying to tell you is that we still practice it today, including the knowledge of our placenta is our land. And that's why we feel the rupture and the tearing apart of our mother from climate destruction. We feel it in our pito, in our belly button, because that's our umbilical cord. And so when you feel something like that, brothers and sisters here, sitting here in the audience, you are not going to stop fighting against climate destruction. That is a formidable power that you cannot fight with. And that's what I'm telling you, that's what my people have. So climate destruction is made by people. We've gone through colonization for a long time. And we've survived it. And we've even thrived in it. I thrive in it every day to be here with my sisters and my brothers and sisters here with the Poverty Scholars. That's how, please, take a look at me. I don't have much money. But don't think that I'm poor in a way please don't overlook my wealth. The wealth I have is the wealth of my ancestors. And the wealth I have, please look at how wealthy I am on Turtle Island. Do you know how wealthy I am, everybody? Is that I still know that I'm Tongan. Yeah. Even my son doesn't speak our language. His heart cries for that. But I want to tell you the biggest indication of how wealthy we are as Pacific Islanders, Nanoa. Please take this home to Tuvalu. Tell them how the Pacific Islanders are very rich in the United States of America, Turtle Island. This is how we are rich. I'll tell you. It's our proximity to the indigenous people of this land. Lishan Aloni, where I live in Berkeley, those are my people. I put my life down on the line for them. That's how we came on the march, you guys. They invited us to be on the indigenous block. Us. My sis, I know in America you're not supposed to downgrade yourself and say you're from a small dot on the map. That's like very not good to do in this arrogant country. It's actually, I have to explain, it's a way of being humble. When you come to somewhere, you always kind of say, I'm not that big. I'm smaller than you. It's out of humility. We're taught that. But that's just what I want to leave with you. That we love the indigenous people of this land. Thank you for teaching us to be who we are, that we are also indigenous. And yes, we lay our lives for the indigenous people of the Bay Area. And I think when we do that, we're also putting our lives for all of us community. For all of us. Not just the Indians. For all of us.
Okay. Okay, as you know, as a Pacific Islander, we live with our family. Family is everything. So we live in an extended family. Grandma, uncles, they live together in one tiny house. But it's not about the house or anything. It's about the connection between you and your family. You and your mom, you and your dad. That's actually that's very important for us. That's like for us being together, you can do anything. Anything is possible when you're with your family. Family is like we cherish them. Without family, for us, you're nothing. We're like nothing on this earth. Being alone, yeah, you can be alone, but it's good to have a partner. Because when you're down, they'll pick you up. And when they're down, then you'll pick them up. So it's like helping each other. So that's a Pacific Island way. We help each other, being with each other, help each other, and also I don't know, just being with the family that's what a Pacific Islander is. To show your culture and stuff. Us, as a Pacific Islander, we like being humble and everything, and I don't know. Sharing is what we like to do. As living in a Pacific Island, just if a stranger just come in and just to borrow something or want something from you, we just give it. We give it with our whole heart. That's how a Pacific Islander lives. So I don't know what to say. But thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to come on the stage and represent our country. And Whawhetai Lasi, Te Manuia koutou.
Sorry, she can't, but we can talk later at the end, okay? Because we already have a program. Sorry about that. But who's your niece? Shout out to your niece. Where's your niece, sis? Right there. Oh, what is your name? Juliet? Hey, Juliet, you went to the program in Aotearoa, is that right? Yeah, all right. Kiara. Yeah, Juliet, is it okay? We've got people, they're already, they got, thank you, sis. Okay, sis, can we have you speak after they're done? Is that okay? Most definitely, okay? Thank you. Is this yours? You don't need it for your thing?
So thank you to those beautiful words of Loa and the sister and the Pacific Islander struggle. Again, quickly, we're a Poor Magazine, a poor people, indigenous people-led organization, multi-ethnicity, multi-generational, and right now we're going to do a little bit about Hiato de los Pobres, theory of the poor, as you know, and we'll spend a little more about what we're doing here. A lot of the times, houseless and homeless people are left out of these conversations about climate change. We recognize that we're probably right now in the homes of some of our comrades who we are occupying for this day, but but they are actually living and thriving in some of this community of the daily, with literally nothing in this country, in the richest country of the world. So this is Teatro de los Pobres.
We got some homeless pieces of garbage. We gotta clean them out.
Yes, we are at the right place. This is 350 Brian. I see a bunch of garbage in here. Excuse me, sir, you gotta move on. Move it along. Move it along. Hey, move it along. Guys, go on that side. Move, please. You gotta go. You gotta dump your stuff. This is all garbage. This is all garbage, guys. You gotta move on. Move it on. You bring something that move these people out of here. Move. This is not a home. This is not a home. Keep it moving.
I think I hear something. Oh. He's only dead.
Oh, wait. Call an ambulance. Somebody call an ambulance.
Call 911.
Call an ambulance.
Once upon a time, there was a daughter of a mama with a broken heart, who was a daughter of a mama with a broken heart, who was a daughter of a daughter with only a piece of a heart. These mamas and daughters held their broken hearts in their hands, cut in so many places they almost couldn't be held, slipping through broken fingers like sand or water or blood. They taught each other cracked dreams of how not to be broken. They walked through life and mamahood with nothing but blood drips and unclear desires for something that didn't hurt. They fell into man and each other like it would end. The break endings and the breakups, ripping new tears into their chests. Their black and blue eyes would look out from black and blue lives. Bruises like hope, slaps and cracked bones soothed the ache of alone. Violence was an ointment to rub on the bleeding scabs of loss. I am Shannon Marie Bigley. I was killed by a Caltrans sweep in Fresno, where I was displaced to after I lived in Oakland and was evicted from my apartment and lost my simple, meager little hold on family because I am alone in this separation nation, and I died in a Caltrans sweep because my body is equated with trash.
I was homeless in Santa Rosa, but I was working. After the fire, I lost my job, the protected place I went to sleep, and my car. I am Miguel Flores, a day laborer who is one of the thousands of his unseen poor people impacted by the climate change-fueled fires that rage across Mama Earth, increasing in the last 2 years exponentially.
Many of us have gone deeper inland in California, where the work is scarce, the heat is worse, and we can't even support ourselves, much less send money home. Which is why we came here in the first place. Yo soy Miguel y conocí a Marie. Que en paz descanses. Rest in peace, Marie.
I used to sleep on the beach, but every week more and more of the beach disappears. They aren't talking about it much because they don't want to scare the rich homeowners down here. But the California coast is already disappearing, and land down here is no longer safe to be on for any of us without a roof. I am Michael Kong, a Filipino fisherman who was evicted from his longtime home in San Francisco due to high rising rents and now sleeps in my car, houselessly in San Francisco. Those folks will just pack up and move somewhere else, covered by insurance, supported by their families and their extreme wealth. I will lose my livelihood, food, and place to park.
More of extended family members from Puerto Rico had to come and live after the Hurricane Maria because their humble homes were devastated. Now we're all getting evicted because they say we have too many people living in apartments, but really, it's because the landlord is trying to flip it and displaced us. Thank you, gentrification.
I never got any of that rehousing help after Katrina caused. I was homeless before Katrina, so of course I was still homeless. I am Ricky E. from New Orleans who lives in a lean to under the bridge. Explain how the heat sometimes gets so bad he feels like he is going to die. Right there on the street, and as usual, no one will care. Actually, people will be happy. One less poor person taking up space on the street.
I almost died last week, literally, right here, because the heat was so bad, I didn't have money to buy more water. And there was no shade, and they just took my tent. I am Jono, unhoused and living and hiding in an unclosed location in San Jose.
I am a youth poverty scholar with Decolonize Academy. Decolonize Academy is a poor mama and uncle-led liberation school on the sacred land of poor folks called Homefulness.
I am a 9-year-old and I have had asthma since I was born, made worse by the Chevron oil refinery that my family lives next to. Most of the time I can't even leave my house, even on school days.
This is a production of Po People on a Poor Planet, a theater of the poor, Teatro de los Pobres play on climate change and poverty in honor of Shannon Marie Bigley, an unhoused poverty scholar killed in a Caltrain sweep meant to remove her unhoused body, because once we are outside, we are equated to trash.
Yeah.
Hopefulness is a homeless people's solution to homelessness.
Decolon News is our school newspaper and micro-business collective of all of us youth and families at POUR.
Please support us, cause like we always say, Poor Magazine is in effect pro.
So this is the Liberation School right here. Can we get a big round of applause for these youth scholars? We don't have any more time to teach our young people lies. We don't have any more time to keep on these disguise of these colonized lies that tell us that Columbus saved us and poverty pimps are the answer to our housing problems, and we need to keep selling Mama Earth and making our money through real estate snaking and developing. Shannon Marie Bigley is just one of thousands of poor people who are impacted directly by this thing that our sister Loa called climate change that nobody really understands and some people don't even believe. And at the end of the day, it's just Mama Earth being hurt. It's just Mama Earth being hurt. Can I get a witness? So one of the things we're actually living, walking, and being in Deep East Wichini, Ohlone land with the guidance of our First Nations elders like Karina Gold and Loa and Foy and so many more, is a homeless people's solution to homelessness. As my little brother Zaire said, homefulness. Because yeah, we don't need the politricksters and the poverty pimps to decide for us. We have our own solutions. And as we always say, change won't come from a savior, a pimp, or an institution. Change will only come from a poor people-led revolution. Thank you all. Please support us with the Decolon News newspaper. They're $2 and they have all the knowledge of these young folks. And if you want to check us out, we're online at pourmagazine.org. And we love Fui and we love all of you. Oh Mateo.
poverty scholars here. And then we have now Noah from Tuvalu. But first of all, we're gonna Juliana, can you come up here and you could also introduce yourself to everybody? So this is what our community looks like. For our Moana Nui community, this is what it looks like, everybody. This is what it looks like here on Turtle Island. And Sheridan's here. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Hello. Wamblio Hitakawi Imachiapi, Pine Ridge, South Dakota, Awati. Hello, my name is Juliana Brown Eyes. My Lakota name is Wamblio Hitakawi, which means brave eagle woman. I am a filmmaker, a photographer, a dog owner, a musician, and I was at Standing Rock. I was raised by a lot of strong Oglala Lakota women, and as soon as my Auntie Joy Braun put out the call, I showed up at Standing Rock. I was the 9th person to be arrested, and right now, have any of you watched City of God? Right now I'm working with the director, Katia Lund from Brazil. She directed City of God, and she was looking for an indigenous filmmaker to help her with the documentary about the after effects of Standing Rock. And so I just finished a 3-month-long process up in North Dakota. I was up at the Bakken oil fields, I was on man camps, I was on oil rigs. I talked to a lot of high officials in North Dakota that are in charge of the water. I learned about produced water and salt water. I learned what they were doing with it in North Dakota. I learned where the water was coming from, the fresh water that they were using in their oil fracking process. And I filmed all of it, and I interviewed all these people from an indigenous perspective. And so I have a lot of healing to do because I did it for the last 3 months. I got really sick. I didn't get a lot of sleep. I opened up my sacred space to a lot of different negative energies, and so I feel the need to let go of all of those things. I'm also a Pacific Islander. I am Tongan. My family is from Tonga, and to be from 2 different, beautiful cultures that honor water and have water as their main source in their ceremonies is really, a beautiful thing for me to learn about, because my father searched for his father for 43 years, and only last year did we find my Tongan grandfather. And so this last week I got to meet all of my Kaho family here in San Mateo. They had a Tongan family reunion. And last year I was awarded the Totai Artist Trust. I applied for an artist residency knowing that I was Pacific Islander, but not knowing anything about my history or my culture, but I knew it and I felt it in my heart that I needed to go to the islands, and I needed to go to New Zealand. I needed to figure out where this calling was coming from, because I always knew that the ocean was calling me, the rivers were calling me, water has always been a part of who I am. And I was born in a car, and my grandmother always talks about how she delivered me and how she poked the water, and she felt my water on her skin and her hands. And so I have that spiritual connection with my grandmother, and I feel that. And so now as a human being and as a spirit on a human being journey, I feel like I need to continue this work through, whether it's through art or music or photography or owning my dog. I thank you guys for inviting me, and as soon as I let go of all the toxic energy that I've been consuming in the last 3 months, I feel like I will be ready to start singing and to start sharing my gifts again. But right now I'm laying low, so thank you guys.
No, aloha. Can we get another round of applause for this awesome being? Mahalo. So aloha mai kako, o Sheridan Noelani and Amoto Kui Noa, o o yang na, ku one hanau, o haleakala ku mauna, o pakipika ku moana, o kahaupali ku kulaiwi. Hi everyone, aloha, welcome. I'm really grateful to be here. And when I introduce myself in the Hawaiian way, I don't only introduce my name, I introduce where I am born, who my mountain is, who my ocean is, who or where my ancestors are buried, but they are with me. And the key thing is this, it is not so much a what, but it's who. In Hawaiian, when someone asks you, "O vai koi noa," they're not just asking you, what is your name? They're asking you, who are the names of your waters? And just like my sister said before, our waters, our rivers, our ocean. And Loa mentioned earlier, what makes Pacific Islanders wealthy. There is a saying, "Ola vai, ola I kawai," exactly. Ola I kawai. Wealth is fresh water. On an island that's surrounded by sea and salt, fresh water is everything. Water is our true wealth. There is no other people in my ancestry that knows water more than Oceania. And the fact that there is a sister canoe, the Hokulea, that Loa also mentioned in 1975 it sailed. But it took 3 years and it returned. The Hokulea sailed around the world. A small voyaging canoe sailed around the world. It took them 3 years. They went to every continent, met with every indigenous group in each continent. And their message was Malama Honua, cherish the earth. This is why we are here. I am not an environmentalist. And the only ism I like is a prism. You can quote me on that. But how I define myself, I am a kama'aina. I am a child of the one who feeds me. I have a responsibility, a kuleana, to take care of the one beneath us, the who that feeds us. Comes in my bones, it is in my DNA, it is who I am. My ocean is who I am. My mountain is who I am. The rivers are who I am. This Aida is who I am. And there is no separation. We need to come back to our relationships with this earth. If we want resolution, we need to reconnect. If we want resolution, we need relationships. Do you understand? It's even in the language, even in English. We need to come back. And if I can have everybody in front of me repeat after me. Water is a we.
That is we.
Not an I.
Not an I.
Water is a we.
That is a we.
Not an I.
Not an I.
Water is a we.
Water is a we.
Not an I.
Not an I.
Thank you. It's going to take all of us. It is a we. It is not an I. Because the I's have already had it and it's not working. Individuals with individual interests. It's called disconnection. That's not going to help us. We need to come back and we need to come as the we. Just the way that water teaches us and has reminded us in our bones, the waters within us. We need to come back and we need to be students again. We need to learn how to speak water. We need to learn how to speak the air, the earth, and the fire. We need to remember these languages because we've lost our way and we are reaping the consequences of the eyes, of the disconnection. So, I do not stand here alone. I am grateful for the we behind me and the we in front of me, and I'm going to pass it on to this brother over here from Samoa. Yes? Oh, no. Oh my God, even better, from Maui, where I'm from. So,
Stand with you while you talk.
yeah, so I'm gonna introduce Chemo. And yes, really grateful to be here on Ohlone land. I just want to say that again. Really grateful to be here and invited here and to be a guest here as well. So, Chemo, do you want to take it away? Maui no Koi.
Hello. My name is Kimo Yokepa Fumato Umu, and the significance of that name and what it means to me, when I say that name in a way that I say it in, it always reminds me of how I have to come back to my roots and respect my roots. And I come from Maui, Hawaii General Hospital and was born in a lake, so I love the water. Been loving the water ever since I was little and I could swim. My dad threw me in a pool and he said, "Swim, damn it, swim." And damn it, did I swim. The water right now is being destroyed by pollution, oil, littering, all sorts of bad things. These bad things stack up over the years, not because of us, but because of our past generations. Past generations, they haven't treated us so well, but we're still here today and still kicking. And my name always reminds me of when I'm still kicking. I'm also Mexican, and I have a cultural problem. I have a cultural problem where I have a problem of not knowing what I am, and but I'm mixed. Yeah, exactly. So when I gotta mix it up. What I like you to say is here today is be proud of who you are, no matter what. Anyone try to talk you down, you know, just say your name. I guess be proud of who you are. Don't let anyone tell you what your future is, because the future is all dependent on you and what you do with it. I was taught, you know, the Rocky Balboa movie, you know that speech about getting hit. Well, you gotta get up. You always gotta get up, and if you don't deserve to be entitled to your name. Thank you.
All just different Pacific Islanders, everybody. So excited to see the contingent and to be here with this energy, and so they just want to introduce themselves.
Aloha nui loa, me ke aloha pumana, kalana ko'i noa, I ho'o kanaka maoli. Aloha mai. So, greetings, all my relations, all my ohana. My name is Kalana. I was born in the North Shore of Oahu, near Waimea Bay, near Laie. In Hawaii, I work with Bumpy Komapanahele. I don't know if any of you heard of him, but he works on our Hawaiian homesteads. Work on the Pu'uhonua, where we do food sovereignty and educating the keiki, the youth, on indigenous Hawaiian agricultural practices. We call it in Olelo, Hawaii, la'au lapa'au. It's the art of the green medicine. And we as Hawaiians, everything that we subsisted off of came from the Aina, the land we call her Papa Hana Moku, which is Mother Earth. You know, she's a living, breathing entity, and she's our mother. You know, we call her our Mokuhini. And we as Hawaiians, we always speak from those who came before us, our kupuna. We as the mo'upuna, the 7th generation, we represent our elders and we speak from their teachings, from their mana'o, their wisdom. And we carry that kuleana everywhere we go, to always be keepers of the aina, keepers of the land, and to always protect. There's a saying that our king, our great chief, King Kamehameha Iolani, 1997, and our queen Lilio Kalani, she was put under house arrest. Many people don't know this. Hawaii was a sovereign kingdom, and she died of a broken heart after being put under house arrest. She couldn't set foot on her own aina, on the sands, the beaches. She was locked up in Iolani Palace. And so our people come from tribulation and from struggle, but we stand strong and with the aloha spirit. We say uamau ke'eo o ka'aina I kopono, which means the righteousness of the land is perpetuated in its sovereignty. And this was a philosophical model that we as Hawaiians we live by. It was established by our chiefs and our chiefess. In Hawaii, we also have a matriarchal system where women are considered sacred, and that's why we always express our gratitude to the Aina, to Papa Hana Moku, to the Mother Earth. And being able to implement our indigenous ways and revive those ways, to take care of what we have while we still have it. That's what we're all about. A little background about me. In Hawaii, on Hanalei Bay, North Shore, I went to the Kinimaka Family Surf Academy, and Titus Kinimaka, Uncle Titus, teaches there. He has a Nauru Hanau school of surfing. So we as Hawaiians were very in touch with the water, ocean, we all support each other, we all love each other. Ho'oponopono me ke aloha pumahana, mahalo no I ho'okanaka lahui o Hawaii nei. Mahalo.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. And I want to say that it was not an accident. Again, thank you to our sister Loa for inviting us. As Organization Poor Magazine, we hardly get invited or any mic time. Sometimes because they say we're too ghetto, we're too loud. Just like they always say about loud people, about poor people, right? But yes, as creator, myself as a Purepecha from Michoacan, which Purepecha in the Purepecha language means Michoacan means places of the fish. So it's not accidents that we have standing with our brothers, the Pacific Islanders. I also want to call out the struggles of the women went to up in Shasta, up north, right? Who are also fighting for the salmon. And so yes, like our young sister was saying, the water is wealth for our people, and we must stand for it. Also where I come from in Michoacan, Mexico, the fisheries are also finishing all the fish and polluting the ocean, the Pacific Ocean where we're from Michoacan, Mexico. So I just want to close it out real quick to share a quick poem. Before they disconnect the microphone, if we get kicked out. So this is called El Machete. From sun up to sundown, 365 days with machete in hand, chopping or cutting the harvest to live another day, to live with my family, with my love, with my children, with humanity, with Mother Earth. 365 days to defend the future of Mother Earth, intoxicated with chemical components, chemicals screaming from the inside, showing sickness of weakness. Mother begs the children to save her before the cancer, before global warming is too late. 365 days with machete in hand to fight, to stand up, to not give up. 365 days with machete in hand to stand against the injustice committed against the ones who cannot defend themselves, against the rape of Mother Earth. 365 days with machete in hand to see my grandchildren play, to grow to be an old man, to see my grandchildren play, to grow to be an old man. 365 days with machete in hand to stand up, to not give up, to fight for Mother Earth.
I want to call out the Poets Project for Magazine in our last few minutes here. Our sister Lori, revolutionary, liberator, welfare queen, who joined the Ancestors Black August 31st. We're in Marine for. Who was one of the co-founders of Homefulness. For those of you who don't don't know, it's not just a dream, but manifestation is a mofo. We all fight, organize, but actually building things when you're foreclosed, the entire world is stacked against you, and these settler colonizers decide that permits to put in water meters cost $10,000. We're constantly fighting, and yet we aren't drowning, but it feels like it sometimes. Sometimes we're just drowning in our own trauma. You come out of these lives, you don't come out unscathed. We have a no police calls mandate. We never engage with the people who test, arrest, incarcerate, or lead to our death. But we hurt each other all the time. Now, this poem is for my sister Lori, because I miss you so much. I really don't even know for sure if we can go on without you. It's also a poem for Papa Bear and Mama D, an unhoused poverty scholar who resided outside in the Elodi Lashan village of Yalamo at Banas and Giri. A thumb is a terrible thing to waste. Black, poor, and disabled thumbs, legs, and lives are perceived as trash when we live outside. After all, we are not human in your eyes, just an unsightly tribe. Lost our humanity and personality on the curbs, inside of doorways, and on the roadside. Excuse me, sir, do you have any spare change? On hard cement working, cement aisles of objectified hate, standing on street corners working cardboards and cups. Maybe a blink of your eye gets us a sliver of your disgust-filled love. My name is Papa Bear. I did 3 tours in your empire wars, killing people you never had to see, think about, or care. Now I'm houseless in these stolen United Snake streets. My name is Mama D, and I lived in poverty, and I barely made it out of those boarding schools, orphanages, and all the places you put me so you didn't have to see me. Right in front of your eyes, and yet I exist nowhere. The only people who see me are people who hope I disappear. Receiving 260 citations because you see me as trash. I died. I'm no longer there. I only exist as a memory in your cluttered, busy past. I was killed from the violence of you not wanting me here. I'm sorry, I'm so sad today, family, but the grief for our sister lost to the ways in which, so many of us are caught in. I think when we talk about Mama Earth destruction, we also need to talk about the ways that they suck us in so that they can shut us down, so they cannot hear from us. Last piece I'm going to leave you with is a little bit happier. Not really. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm in grief, and I want to own that grief. I read somewhere that grief is love. Lori McElroy, EYA. Can we give her a round of applause? If anybody knows the sister, Sister Mama revolutionary, did not live by the bull, you-know-what, of this settler colonizer stolen land. And this poem is for you, Lori. This poem is a little bit of love from my mama, Afro-Boricua, welfare queen, OG poverty scholar from the streets of North Philly, and before that, Puerto Rico for her ancestors, and Roma, Ireland for her other side. And of course, I am half colonizer, so I also walk in that disguise. Walk with the conflict of my father who left us on the street. But this is a song poem for both of y'all and for everybody here. And for any poverty scholars in the house, I think you might feel me. And you can join in. Angel baby, my angel baby, ooh, I love you, ooh, I do. No one could love you like I do. The lowrider lecturer presents his thesis on the backseat of a Chevy Impala. The words sail through the sky and out that narrow institutional school window. Refusing to be caught by the mandate of white supremacist tests, The story that only some people can be teachers and others are set for arrest. The Cholo Doctor has lettres behind his name that sway and sashay to the sounds of war and Frankie Ballet. When I hear the Cholo Doctor, my corazón skips a beat, because he teaches that the knowledge is within us. Our corazones, our almas, puro amor, our hands, our feet, our work, our struggle, la vida loca and the institution can meet. The Cholo Doctor brings medicine to the minds of all of us caught in the trauma of colonization and Gregorian time. To my Boricua ghetto fabulous mama who was told she was nothing and could be nothing, and no matter what refused to believe their pinche lies. To Lori, to Uncle Bruce, to Mutiago, to Chumba, to Vivian, the Quinande, the Cholo Doctor is your mama, your uncle, your abuelita, your street corner preacher, your gardener, your dishwasher, and lives in your own mind. The lowrider lecture delivers lecturas and poesía and música and prayer and dreams. The lowrider lecture is busy. He and she are mixing their trajectories and developing their newest cannons while they wash your dishes, mow your lawn, and make your burrito with beans. They are having their think tanks and their test prep sessions in front of the Home Depot, and if you want to pass the test called life, you better listen carefully to the lecturas, because they don't have time to repeat them or say them twice. Between holding down 3 and 4 jobs, caregiving for your babies, struggling with false borders and fake notions of who is a scholar and who is a teacher for life, who is a poverty scholar and who is a teacher for life. Oh, all right. For you, Lori, that's for my mama, that's for all of you. I love you all. And Poverty Scholarship, the textbook is coming out this year. So if any of these beautiful revolutionaries want us to come and teach you back your knowledge, teach you back your beauty, which you already have, we'll come. No, I'm done.
Yeah, we're gonna close it out. Yeah, we're gonna close it. And you've been kicking out? Some of you, yeah, like some of you have just been like sitting there and you didn't go, especially of course our photographer Jeff. We're glad you set up.
Big round of applause for this guy.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Come on, Sherry, you guys come up here. And yeah, thank you so much for sticking with us. Yeah, was that you, girl? Wow, so good to see you. Love you so much. Love you so much. This is part of our family. Yeah, right in the back there. That cute Jewish girl. That yellow T-shirt. I'm not very smart, everybody, and I don't know all the knowledge. So I'm sorry I'm gonna miss out on some poverty scholars in the audience, everyone. But yeah, let's give them some love too. Wow. So yeah, well our humble and our beautiful and exciting little panel here has come to an end, and I just wanna thank all these beautiful people, and even some of them who have left. Right? There were many players on this stage, right? And they've come and they've gone, and we're just so appreciative for the spirit that has brought us together here to this La Raza Park in the Mission in San Francisco, Ilamu, Aloni Land. So we're gonna end our. There's something that are way tiny. We do it. I don't know how to sing, you guys. I really don't. I really don't, you guys. The chant, I know. You want to do the Ikumama? Yes. Oh, okay, I'll do it. Yes. Everybody, because I'm telling you, I'm very, our culture is very Christianized. And so we don't know, we speak a language, but even that language has changed so much that it's a language only, it's kind of like, I can liken it to, it's kind of like a military language. It's a government language, it's a finance language. So when you hear Tommy speak, that's the language we speak today. We don't speak in these, so we don't have the chant. I don't have a Tommy chant. So, I mean, it's with great humility and great love again for how I learned how to be Tongan on this sacred land. And I'm not even lying to you. That's how I found these brothers and sisters in Solidarity when the native people had that, they went to 101 days, or was it 110? I don't remember. Days that they went to Solidarity and took over that sacred site that became a recreational park. Oh, they taught us so much. They teach us so much of how to be Pacific Islander. And then it's a big, big shout out for us as Tongans to the Kanaka Maoli, the native Hawaiian of Hawaii. You know, as I told you, they brought back our voyaging. And to the New Zealand Maoris of Aotearoa, who have these language schools like the Hawaiians do, right? For the keiki, the kids, to grow up and learn. I mean, I'm so proud of, if you guys follow the Mauna Kukiai Mauna movement. So proud of Kaho'okahi Kanua. Did I say that wrong? Yeah, and so I'm so proud of Kaho'okahi. I think I said his name right. Because this is a young man, everybody, in his 20s. His parents don't have the language, but because his parents put him in the emergent language school, he speaks Hawaiian. And he was arrested when they went to save their mountain from the developers, you know, with the telescope. He went there and he went in his land and they arrested him. And when he went to prison, when he went and stood in front of the United States government court, everybody, he spoke in his own language. Yeah. Yes. He spoke in Hawaiian. And the judge at first said, "Get out of this courtroom! You're not speaking in English, get out! You don't have a place here." And he kept speaking in Hawaiian. No, this is our land. We were illegally occupied. Yeah, did I say that right? Yeah. Sorry, I mean, my language is Tongan, and yet I don't even speak it that much. But, you know, we have many languages going on in our hearts. So, we are going to end this. So, we were told to do the, yeah, that's, no. We're just gonna, I'm sorry, Sheridan. I'm gonna do a chant that Tiny told me to do. Because I'm sorry, I am a storyteller, so I went about this way to tell the story. Sheridan, do you know, or Sheridan's Hawaiian name, Noilani. Noilani, do you know Eku Mau Mau? Okay, let's just do our best, okay? Yeah. So you guys, I just told you as a Tongan, I don't know a single Tongan chant. I went into the Solano prison as a facilitator. They asked me to be a spiritual advisor. There I was with Pacific Islanders like a black mom and a Samoan dad who, you know, the dad left a long time ago, but the kid still had that, as I spoke earlier, still had that placenta in the ground with that knowledge, still had the knowledge that they're Samoan, that they're from the Pacific. And so they came to our group. These kids who, you know, who grew up in different places and never have heard of, never knew any really Pacific thing. So Kumukauhi Peralto taught them this chant. And this is how I am gonna do this chant for my sister, Kanaka Maoli, sister Sheridan. And this chant I have to now tell again. We're talking about how the Hiki Analia is Daktir, the sister canoe of our beloved Hawaiian voyaging canoe, the Honulea. And for you to go and get the big trees, the core trees to make into the double hull, you have to go upland. And you have to do it as a people. You have to do it as a village. You can't do that alone. It's a lot of difficult work. And that's what this chant's about. It's an ancient chant. And now, so it's stand up. You know, and it also says stand up in intervals. Sometimes you have to sit down and rest. Let the other stronger person stand up. So it's this kind of chant we're going to do, okay? And we learned this from the prisoners in Solano. Lots of love to the incarcerated people who are behind bars. Lots of love to them, our own brothers and sisters. This is our own family, right? So here we go. And if you guys want to follow, go ahead. Please forgive me if I forget. Sometimes I do that. You know, it's like that Lorna D. Cervantes poem, you guys, growing up in America, KKK. It has made my mind a stumbling mind. But I'll stay in the steady path. I'll give it my best shot. Eku Mau Mau! Eku Mau Mau! Ekua! Ekua! Eku Mau Mau! Eku Hulu Hulu! Ikala Navao! Eku Mau Mau! Eku Mau Mau! Yeah, yeah. Ekuwa huki, ekuwa ko, ekuwa amau, amau ka ilu, e hiki e kulia. So just two more. And that last line, kulia, is like when you're coming down, you're working together to get the koa trees to make the double hull canoes, into something like the hiki analia. When you do it, and and this is true even to today, people in Atiu Cook Islands were telling me about how they were getting wood to make their canoes. And that last line, kulia, means look, it's a god, the spirit runs. Because that's what they say. It's no effort, it's effortless. Those big wood, the trees, it's like a spirit, it runs. So we're doing 3 times, so 2 more. Okay, so yeah. Oh, Kimo, sorry, don't repeat after me. Yeah, we're done, yeah. Eku mau mau! Eku mau mau! Eku hulu hulu! Ikala na mau! Ekuwa! Ekuwa huki! Ekuwa ko! Ekuwa amau! Amau ka ilu! E huki e! Kulia! Eku mau mau!
Ekuwa!
Eku mau mau! Eku hulu hulu! Ikala na mau!
Ekuwa!
Ekuwa! Ekuwa huki! Ekuwa ko! Ekuwa mau! Amau ka ilu! E huki e! Kulia! Ew!
Thank you, Morganite.
Thank you. We're making a transition to the Pacific Ocean is our homeland. Workshop for that transition song. Sacred song.
Transición gracias al grupo de el Océano Pacífico es nuestro hogar.